and girls and parents, I hope everyone has had a wonderful Monday, ready for a Monday math video. Let's take a look at number 1, 11/4. What do we know about 11/4? Hopefully you said it's a fraction greater than a whole. So we're really asking ourselves, how many groups of 4/4 can we get out of 11/4? Okay, we know we can get 1. So let's make 1 4/4. So there's 1 whole. There's my chunky 1. Can we do another 4/4? We sure can. So we can make another 4/4. So there's our second whole. So we've used 8/4. Can we do another 4/4? We can't. We would need 12/4, and we only have 11/4. So we can make 2 whole, and we used 8/4. So if we used 8/4 and we have 11/4, how many fourths do we have left over? Hopefully you said 3/4. Now I want you to think about, how would we write that as a decimal? We have 2 whole, and now we have that fraction, 3/4. Think about quarters. You have 3 out of 4 quarters. You have 75 cents, 75 hundredths. Okay, taking a look at number 2. It says a construction crew uses 882 pounds of concrete for each section of a parking garage. That's a lot of concrete. If the garage is going to have 493 sections, how many pounds of concrete will they need? Now remember, this is for one section. They are going to have 493 sections. What do you think we're going to do with this? Hopefully you said multiply. Yes, because each section needs that much. Okay, so let's move over here. And we have 882 pounds for one section. And we need to make 493 sections. Okay, remember, pause the video if you need to get caught up. Okay, we're going to take 3 and multiply it by everything. 3 times 2 is 6. 3 times 8. Now remember, it's really 3 times 80. But we can think about it as 3 times 8, which is 24. 4, regroup the 2. And then 3 times 8 again is 24 plus 2 more gives you 26. Cancel out the 2, cancel out the 3, and 1 placeholder. Smiley face to hold the place. Now we're on the 9. Really, it's 90 times 2. 2 groups of 90, which would be 180. Okay? We'd like to think about it as 9 times 2, which is 18. But if you think about 180, that 8 would be in the tens place. 9 times 2, 18. Look at where that 8 is, in the tens place. Regroup the 1. 90 times 80, or 9 times 8, 72, plus 1 more, 73. Regroup the 7. 9 times 8 again, 72, plus 7 more, 79. Okay, cancel out the 1 and the 7, cancel out the 9. Now we need 2 placeholders, because you're on the 3rd digit in the hundreds place, so it needs to go there in the hundreds. So now we have 4, which is really 400 times 2. 2 groups of 400. 800. 4 times 2 is 8, and look at that. There's an 8, and look at where it is. It's in the hundreds place, 800. 4 times 8, and really it's 400 times 80, which would give you 32. Regroup the 3. And then you have 4 times 8 again, 32, plus 3 more, 35. Draw your line, get ready to add. So we have a 6. All right, next column, 8 and 4. Think about, what do you need to make that 8 a 10? 2. So take 2 from the 4. Now you have a 10 and 2 left over, so we have 12. Regroup the 1. Do you notice anything there? Look at this, 7. Or 6 and 1 is 7, plus 3. There's that perfect 10. Perfect 10 right there. Plus 8 is 18. Regroup that. Do you see a perfect 10? I do. 9 and 1, 10. 12, 14. 4, regroup the 1. 7 and 1 makes 8. 8 plus 5. Think about, what do you need to make that 8 a 10? 2 more. So if you take 2 from the 5, you're left with a 3, 13. 3, regroup, and then the 4. Don't forget your comma, 1, 2, 3, comma. So 434,826 pounds of concrete. That is definitely a lot of concrete. Okay, taking a look at number 3. Number 3, it says Tiffany had 2 full cement blocks and one that was 1/3 the normal size. If each full block weighed 2 and 2/4 pounds, what is the weight of the blocks Tiffany has? Now, this is together. It's 2 and 1/3. Okay? If we think about our friendly numbers, 10 and 2, and I plug them in. So if I put 10 here and I put 2 here, and I reread it. Tiffany had 2 cement blocks. So she had 2 cement blocks. Each full block weighed 10 pounds. What is the weight of the blocks? So if she had 2, they each weighed 10. What would the weight be of the blocks? You would get 20. So what did you do with 10 and 2 to get 20? Multiply. This is a multiplication problem. So 2 and 1/3, and we're going to multiply it by 2 and 2/4. What do you know already about the product? Okay. If you said the product's going to be more than both factors, excellent. All right. Okay, so we have a few different ways that we can multiply this. Okay. One is to change both of them into a fraction greater than a whole. So if you think about this one here, it is made up of 2 wholes and 1/3. This is made up of 2 wholes and 2/4. Now we know 2/4 is equivalent to a half, so I'm going to change it to a half. Okay, in that 1 whole, how many parts would there be? Hopefully you said 3/3. That's our denominator over here. So 1 whole is 3/3, and 3/3 plus 1 more third gives you 7/3 here. Okay, that is the same thing as 7/3. Remember, we can multiply the denominator by whole and add the numerator, but this is what it represents. This is what it means. Then over here, if we have 2 whole, each whole would have 2 halves because our denominator's halves. Remember, we converted it to a half. So 2 halves plus 2 halves plus 1 more half gives you 5 halves. Okay, so now when we multiply across. We have 35 over 6. What do we know about 35 over 6? Fraction greater than a whole. How many groups of 6 can I get? I can get 5 groups. What's 5 times 6? 30. So if I have 35, I have 5 6 left over. There's your final answer. And look at that. It is greater than both of those. Think about just 2 times 2. Just 2 times 2 is 4. So I knew it had to be over 4. Okay? And if I rounded these both up to 3 and 3, that would be 9. 9's too much. So I knew it had to be between 4 and 9. Had to be between those two. Okay, taking a look at number 4. A bag of strawberry candy takes 2 4/5 ounces of strawberries to make. If you have 1 2/5 bags, how many ounces of strawberries did it take to make them? Now, if you're looking at that thinking, I'm not sure if I need to add, subtract, multiply, divide, plug in our friendly numbers of 10 and 2. So 10 here, where it's the larger one, 2 here. And then reread it. A bag of strawberry candy. So 1 bag of strawberry candy takes 10 ounces of strawberries to make. If I have 2 bags, how many ounces of strawberries did it take to make them? So 1 bag takes 10. If I want to make 2 bags, what would I need? 20. Think about 10 and 2. What did you do to 10 and 2 to get 20? We multiplied again. Okay, so let's go down here. So we have 2 4/5, and we're going to multiply by 1 2/5. Okay? Okay, so this one, we are going to multiply it a little differently. We've done it in class. We've talked about the different ways that we can multiply. So this one, we're going to distribute it. So we're going to multiply the 2 by each part over there. So 2 times 1 plus 2 times 2/5. Okay, so we multiplied everything by that 2. Now we're going to multiply 4/5 by everything over there. So 4/5 times 1 plus 4/5 times 2/5. Okay, so 2 groups of 1 would be 2 plus, think about this, 2 groups of 2/5. 2/5 and 2/5 gives you 4/5 plus, oh, think about this one. 4/5 times 1. 1 copy of 4/5 would be 4/5 plus 4/5 of 2/5. Multiply the top, you get 8 over 25. Okay, now we go and add them. So I have 2 whole. I can add these two. What's 4/5 and 4/5? 9/5 plus 8 over 25. Common denominator. Because I can't add these until I have that common denominator. All right, 25. So I'm going to multiply top and bottom by 5. Remember, 5 over 5 is the equivalent to that 1 whole, so I don't change the value. So I would get 45 on top. This stays 8 over 25. So still have 2 whole. 25 is my denominator. 45 plus 8. Hopefully you said 53. Now, how many groups of 25 over 25 can you get? You can get 2 more groups, which would be 50 25ths, so you would have 3 left over. But don't forget you had this other 2 whole there. So we end up with 4 whole and 3 over 25. Remember, if you need to pause and go back, please do so. Okay, taking a look at number 5. It says, Luke wanted to collect 32 pounds of cans in 7 days. How much should he collect to reach his goal? Between which 2 whole numbers does your answer lie between? So this is what he wants to collect total. He wants to do it in 7 days. Okay? So think about that problem. What does he need to do a day? We have 32, and we're sharing it between 7 days. Remember, we've talked a lot this year that division and fractions are related. A fraction is nothing more than a division problem. So 32 is what I have over 7. 32, and I'm sharing it between 7 days. How many groups of 7 can we get out of that? 7 sevens. Hopefully, you said we can get 4, which is 28. So if I use 28 sevens, how many sevens are left? 4 sevens. What 2 whole numbers is that between? 4 and 5. Okay, mystery question of the day before we move on to number 6 is, what is your big goals? What is one of your big goals for quarter 2? So we have parent, teacher, student conferences tomorrow. What's one of your major goals for quarter 2? Okay, let's look at number 6. It says the combined height of 2 pieces of wood was 9.5 inches. So that's combined. That's the total. If the first piece of wood was 2 7/9 inches high, what was the second piece? So I want you to think about this. You have 2 pieces of wood. So this plus this equals 9.5. As we said that was the total. We know the first piece is 2 7/9. So 2 7/9 plus what gives you this? So what do you know about the second piece? Hopefully you said it's going to be less than the total. Okay? So if we had, think about our friendly numbers, 2 and 10. 10 is going to go where the larger number is. Okay? 2 plus what is 10? Hopefully you said 8. What did you do with 10 and 2 to get 8? We subtracted. This is a subtraction problem. So let's go over here. So we have 9.5 minus 2 and 7/9. Okay? Can't subtract it yet until we have a common denominator. So we're going to bring this down. Okay? What's our first one going to be in common? hopefully you said it's going to be 18. Okay? So this would turn to 9/18. And then this one here would turn to 14/18. So now let's bring it down. We have 9 whole and 9/18 minus 2 whole and 14/18. 9 minus, oh, we got to do the fraction part first. 9/18 minus 14/18. Can't do that, can we? Okay, so we're going to regroup. So we're going to regroup from the whole. So we're regrouping 1 whole. What is that equivalent to as a fraction? Hopefully you said 18/18, because that's what our denominator is. Okay, so I'm going to add 18 to this. So 9 plus 18 gives you 27. Okay, so now we can 27 minus 14 gives you 13/18, and then 8 minus 2 gives you 6. 6 and 13/18. Okay, boys and girls, I hope this has helped, and I look forward to seeing everybody tomorrow.